If we would have only let him out the night before, we would actually have a living dog. All right, before we begin the show, let's thank our great sponsors. Our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut, all-natural, non-GMO coconut water with natural electrolytes and no added sugar. You can choose from pure blueberry, pineapple, watermelon, sparkling energy, and chocolate with Once Upon a Coconut. Stay hydrated and refreshed. Plus, 10% of profits go to charity that benefit our communities, including the Down Syndrome Foundation, Breast Cancer Foundation, and the Leukemia Society. Find out where Once Upon a Coconut is sold nearest you by going to onceuponacoconut.com, put in your zip code, or you can order online. But when you do that, at checkout, make sure you put in the discount code BSPodcast10 and save yourself some gatuses. Inspect All Pest Services, inspectallservices.com. They do it all. They provide the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control, but they do so much more. Yes, they do. They take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding area. Again, inspectallservices.com, and thanks to Inspect All Pest Services for sponsoring all of our guests on all of the podcasts. It's the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, with the Aurora Law Firm, theauroralawfirm.com. He's got experience litigating all over the United States, so it doesn't matter where you listen to the BPX, the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, and the Aurora Law Firm can help. Whether it's criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more, it's the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora to the rescue. You can always go to jasonbailey.com for any legal questions that you have for the Mad Dog that we'll bring up on an episode of The BS. It's Ridgeline Counseling. Dr. David Markwell, one of the greatest human beings in the entire world of America. He's got 10 therapists in-house that work with him there at Ridgeline Counseling. 3 locations in Georgia, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains. That's in East Cobb, Marietta near the Square, and McKaysville just outside of Blue Ridge. If you listen to the BPX anywhere, you can get help from Ridgeline Counseling and Dr. David Markwell and his team. They do virtual sessions. Just go to markwelltherapy.com for all that information. If you need help and you need someone to talk to, he is the best in the business. That is markwelltherapy.com. Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia. Love these guys. Family owned and operated. They're a Generac generator dealer, founded in 2012, offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. And every single one of you as a customer at Alternate Power Solutions, you'll get an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract. They offer flexible financing, which is great, semi-annual and annual service contracts for existing installations and warranty repair. They have an A+ rating with the BB&B, and you pay nothing until the job is complete and you, the customer, are a happy camper. Servicing Georgia and Tennessee. Here's the phone number, 770-853-7571. Or you can go online to poweringgeorgia.com. Make sure you use the discount code Bailey for $500 off your entire installation. And a big thanks to MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower of Atlanta. Beautiful, affordable bathing solutions. MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower is a local, family-owned company committed to enhancing your bathroom experience in Metro Atlanta. They're going to provide the highest quality, safe, and affordable walk-in tubs and showers, focusing solely on installation that elevate your home's comfort and accessibility. They service all of Atlanta, Georgia. No commission sales guys. None of that. No hassles. No high-pressure tactics. Call them at 404-493-6888, or you can go online to MVPWalk-ins.com to schedule your no-hassle appointment. You want $2,000 off? Not a problem. They're going to do that. You'll receive $2,000 off when you mention the BPX Bailey Podcast Exchange or any of the shows, MVPWalk-ins.com. And finally, Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa, a live ozone therapy spa in Altamont Springs, Florida, servicing all of Central Florida, Orlando, and beyond. Not only offering ozone therapy or activated oxygen therapy non-invasively through the Hocket sauna, red light therapy, halo therapy, presso therapy, PEMF, as well as numerous in-house ozone-infused products like that magnesium butter that you love. Go to AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com and get the products there. If you're in and around the area, you can book an appointment online. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa also has a brand new app that you can find with your iPhone and or your Android phone. Just go where you download your apps, or you can go to AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. Again, thanks to all of our great sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. If you are a business and we can help your brand, please go to jasonbailey.com. There's a section right there on the website for you to send me your information, and we will have that conversation. With all of that being said, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
Yeah, here it is, episode 422 of the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to. This is a freebie episode. Thanks for being here. Remember, we got 2 other episodes for subs and subs only. You can do that by going to jasonbailey.com. This is all on the BPX Bailey Podcast Exchange. That's 3 different shows, 5 days a week. Yeah, that's a lot of content that you can get. Get all your details on jasonbailey.com. But if you're on this feed, especially your Spotify feed with the video, you see Monday through Friday, you get all the shows only if you're a subscriber. Again, you have to be a subscriber to get all of the shows. And you can do that by going to jasonbailey.com. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, especially our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut, onceuponacoconut.com. Use the discount code BSPodcast10. Save some Geetuses at checkout. Absolutely delicious. All right, thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. There's the Bald Badger Benjamin.
Hey, sorry, I had to turn the hat around. I felt like I had way too much forehead showing. I was in orbit.
You're over the topping it, is what you're doing.
Yeah, I had to turn on the switch.
Top of it. Yeah, you got to do that. It is October. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's a rumor.
Yeah. In the city of Deltona, which I live, right? There's not one, there's not 2, there's many houses that already have their Christmas lights up. I've never, ever seen that in my entire life of America. And when I say their Christmas lights up, I'm not saying they started or they're dabbling or they're going to get better. These people are ready to rock and roll and celebrate Christmas. I think it's a cultural thing because there's a high Hispanic population in the Deltona area. And I'll tell you, look, driving into my house in my neighborhood, it might look a little sketch, but all those people, high Hispanic population, Mexican population, you know what they do? They love to celebrate holidays. So that means that I get a free show from the interstate to my house going by all these houses. It doesn't have to be Disney quality. It's the effort that counts. That's all that counts. And if you guys are going to start putting your lights up in October, I am the last guy on that list to hate on you. Bless your heart. God bless you. You do your thing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Love it.
I saw something recently. I had a function that I went to, and there was a Christmas tree already up in this hall where I was
in the place,
but they had it covered with a sheet with the eyes cut out.
Smart. Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of brilliant.
That's a thing. Christmas trees 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm.
And you just dress them up as different things throughout the year.
Why not?
So we've become, I don't want to say lazy. I think we've become more time consuming as a society and with technology, meaning that, you can, a very trendy thing now for houses is to have these LED lights going underneath, the
like the eave, the soffit.
Yeah. The soffit. Yeah. I always mess up that word, the soffit. So I had Jeremiah fucking Sample when he was down, put in can lights underneath my soffit around my house, just so it looks nice. Now I went a little cheap because that's how I am, a little frugal. And I didn't put in the color changing ones. Now I can swap them out easily and put in the color changing ones. So during Halloween, I can do orange. During Christmas, I can do red and green. And that's what people do. A lot of newer houses, at least here in Florida, they have the LED strands where you can change them on your app. So you're not even decorating your house anymore. You don't have to. You can literally change your lights on your app and you don't have to do a damn thing. There's one side of me it's going absolutely brilliant on our part as a society. The other side of me is like, we can't get rid of everything that's OG. There's something to be said, especially if you got kids. going out there on a Sunday or a
Yes.
Saturday and decorating your house together with dad.
That would never be me.
Not
So
with
I got respect for the color changing LEDs, full time 365. But I love going driving through like during Christmas time and checking out who's gone balls out for the holidays,
Yeah.
who's gone crazy with the decorations.
Yeah.
Do you do that? You go just driving for lights?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's better. I mean, you can do it anytime, but it was obviously better when the kids were little, and you get hot chocolate in the car. There are some places that these houses, especially in Georgia, North Georgia, they had so much land that you could drive through. I mean, it was like a theme park. It was for free. And, you pay for hot chocolate or something at the beginning. You got hot chocolate and it's maybe a 10, 15-minute drive through the thing, but it's something to do during the holidays. Now, I know some of you that have listened to me for a long time are screaming at whatever device you're listening to the show on, calling me a hypocrite. And you would be absolutely correct, because for many, many years, I did not put up my Christmas lights. I had companies or people do it for me. But there was a time that I did it myself and I attempted to do it, but it got to a point where I thought that it was better for everyone driving past my house that if professionals did it. And I could afford it at that time. So
I had a friend back in Arkansas, and their lights became so big and extravagant. They actually became world famous that they had to start a company to install their lights. The Osbournes, they had them at Disney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I know the daughter, Breezy, she was the catalyst for the whole thing. And
the Osbourne family Christmas?
Yeah.
That at Disney.
Yeah.
The Oz, not Ozzy, but those Osbournes that started that.
Yes. His Jennings Osbourne was the dad. And I know his daughter, Breezy, she was the reason for it all.
Local people?
Arkansas,
really?
Yeah, Little Rock. Yeah.
So what is the story? They at one time just did such a bang up job with their Christmas lights. Disney found out about it and was like,
yeah. So when she was born, her dad got one light, and it was this like angel holding a dove thing, and it was just the one thing, and she was mesmerized by it as a baby. So he was like, "Oh, she likes Christmas lights." So every year he started adding to it, and it got to the point where Little Rock had to hire traffic cops and stuff because it was so horrible right on their street, and they were on a main drag with a big house.
Really?
Disney found out about it, and they were like, "Send your lights down here," and they had the Disney Festival of Lights, Osborne something. Yeah,
it's the Osborne family of lights or something. It's like that's the thing at Disney.
Yeah, they shut it down like 3-4 years ago though.
So they would pay them every year
to
come to Disney to do their lights.
No, they just donated everything except for the original. They kept that one, the first one, the angel holding the dove, in the yard, but everything else they had Disney set up for them.
Any idea what Disney paid them?
I honestly don't know if they paid them anything. Maybe just like a NIL thing for the use of their name.
No, I mean you're thinking
Jennings was a massive philanthropist, so it would not have surprised me if he was like, "No, it'll make kids happy. Just do it."
Were they wealthy beforehand?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's always a difference, right? That's always the game changer.
Not ridiculous money, but enough money where he gave a lot back to the town. He did something really cool. You would have appreciated. He built a barn. He bought property outside town, built this huge barn that was only for smoking meat.
Yeah.
He had like 12 different pits going. And once a year, he would do a first responders barbecue out at Riverfront Park, where if you were a fireman, a policeman, EMT, I think that was it. Am I missing one? First responders.
First responders, yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they could come down and get the biggest tray of barbecue you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
It was like a full rack of ribs, a whole smoked turkey leg. More food. You could eat this 6-7 meals, no problem. And he was here, enjoy. And if you had to work that day, he had drivers that would take meals to the firehouse, to the police station, to make sure that there was not any first responder that didn't get to celebrate their day.
What a random conversation. I'm bringing up Christmas lights in Deltona. You're like,
sorry,
you know the Disney lights? I'm like, yeah, everybody knows it. Yeah, I know the girl's family that started that. Like, what? From here locally? No, Arkansas. Oh, gotcha.
But it came local. It was a full circle thing.
No. I'm not talking.
Did I pull a fox just now?
No. It's the opposite. It's so random in a good way. Like, I didn't think when I was talking about the Deltona lights, you would say, oh yeah, the girl from Arkansas that I know was the one that did the lights at Disney.
Yep.
That's just so random to know that person. That's cool. That's really, really cool. So, so anyway, I saw these lights actually going to your gig last Saturday, for the good old boys at the Ink and Drink bar, in Sanford. And Rach takes that back way to work every day to Alive, and sometimes when she's coming home, especially when it was getting darker earlier, she's seeing these people with these Christmas lights, and she didn't tell me. So as we were driving to your gig, I drive by a house, I'm just kind of focused on the road, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di. And I slowed down and I kind of looked back. She goes, what are you doing? I said, I think I saw Christmas lights. And she goes, oh yeah. There's tons more. This entire area, like from here to where we're going to see like 10 different houses that are decked out for Christmas. I said, it's October. It's not even the end of October. It's the middle of October. We haven't even gotten to Halloween yet. And she's like, oh yeah, these people are on it. I'm like, that's crazy. I've never seen someone, unless they left them up the entire year, decorate that early for Christmas. When it's easy to hate on it, right? I mean, some of you right now listening are going, man, that's bullshit. Why? I mean, like June maybe, but it's starting to get a little chilly, even in Florida, believe it or not. Christmas brings happiness to like 99% of the people that celebrate Christmas. It brings happiness. The 1% that doesn't get happy during Christmas, do you know who they are, Ben?
Scrooge them.
No, yeah, those are the people that either did it or accepted it. And that's a proposal. And the relationship didn't work out. That's why you never propose during Christmas time, because when it goes south, when it doesn't work out, your Christmases are all ruined forever and ever. I mean,
you have never said anything more right in your life.
Right. Well, I've said that for years. Any holiday, you should never propose on any holiday, especially Valentine's Day, Christmas.
Oh God.
Doesn't matter.
I had a serious relationship one time, and I had a wonderful Christmas with this woman, and she thought I was going to propose, and she freaked out and cheated on me.
Because you didn't propose?
Because she thought it was getting too serious too quickly. I'm like, I didn't even buy a ring.
She misread the situation.
Yeah, she went and cheated on me, ended the whole situation. Yeah.
That's funny.
Christmas. Damn Christmas.
Gotta find some dick. He's gonna propose. I've got to find penis.
That bastard.
How do I cheat on Ben? Because I know he's gonna want me to be his wife.
Yeah.
Get me some penis during Christmas now.
Yeah.
Oh, she found it. Probably not hard to find. So anyway, if you're in the, I would love to know, for those that are listening, wherever you're listening, if you could drop some comments somewhere on any of the socials and let me know if you're seeing Christmas lights in and around your area.
Are these like Nightmare Before Christmas themed, or are they like Ave Maria, Feliz Navidad type themes?
Ave Maria. No, these are balls to the wall. The houses aren't big, so these are kind of cookie cutter, single family, one story, typical Florida stucco houses. But like they've got tree out front, with the strands. They've got the inflatables. They've got the lights around the house. No Christmas tree.
Inflatables. Good Lord.
I'm 50-50 on the inflatables. I got to tell you.
I like one, maybe two, like the big giant ones, because it's like, wow, that's gaudy. But some of these cats got like 50, 60 of them in their front yard, and it's just ridiculous. There's
a house in Atlanta, in a nice area in Buckhead, that's their gimmick, and it's been their gimmick for, I think, decades. They don't have much yard, but it's in a nice part in Buckhead area, is a nice part of town, and the entire yard is filled with inflatables. I mean, they're like inflatable to inflatable. And you drive over there just to look at the inflatables. It's kind of a thing. I have an inflatable. I haven't put it up in years when I got it. And I got it at a discount at Lowe's. So I was very excited. It's a Star Wars Christmas inflatable. And it's got R2-D2, C-3PO, and Yoda. And it says,
Are they in a manger?
no, it's like peace be with you or something. And I remember when I put it up the first time, I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. But I haven't put it up in years. The thing is like, we don't mind putting up the lights. Putting up the lights isn't the difficult part. It's the taking down the lights. And it's not because physically it's difficult. It's easier to take them down, right, than to put them up. But it's when do you find the time? Because you get those weird days in January where you're preparing for the new year and you're getting ready and you might be coming back from vacation and all these other things that you're doing. You're like, oh man, I don't want to do it. That kind of thing. So it's nice that we have a single story house now. And I kept the hooks in from last year. So this year I'm literally just, as long as I remember where to start and where to finish, because a lot of times I'll get that messed up and I'm like, oh man, I don't have a plug. As long as I do that, I'm straight like skull. I'm good to go.
Did you diagram it?
I didn't.
Got like schematics and shit?
Our house in Atlanta, we had a beautiful house in Atlanta, beautiful 2-story house in Atlanta. And Jeremiah and Sample started to put my lights up for me. And we had these commercial grade lights that I originally got from this dude that worked for a company that did it. And we worked out a deal on the radio show, like we were doing our charity event, and he offered up like a free service for somebody to be a part of the event. And then we got in we start talking and he's like, let me come out and do yours. I was like, great. So he comes out and he does mine and he leaves the lights. I mean, these are commercial grade lights, right? He leaves the lights in my house. I'm like, dude, you left all your lights here. He's like, yeah, just keep them from next year. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. It's like, there's no way that you have all, like, that's just weird. Right. And so like he disappeared for so I'm like, all right, well, I'll just have Jeremiah put them up. So Jeremiah had a map of the house of where he would do it. Like he would have stakes in the front yard and then where the red ones go, where the white ones go, and up on the roof and all that kind of stuff. This house, I don't need a map. It's literally just, but you got to do something, especially, when you got the kids that come back for Christmas and, Bees will be home for Christmas. You want it to be as Christmassy as humanly possible for her.
You should get one of them fake snow blower things and make it a winter wonderland when she gets there.
Oh, make it big. Do it big. Do it big.
Sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling, snow slope.
Yeah.
I love Christmas time. Like when it's cold and just people sometimes are nice to each other for no reason.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All the bells in front of Walmart.
You know what I like better than Christmas Day? Christmas Eve.
Why?
Christmas Eve.
The anticipation?
Yeah. Christmas Eve is the best holiday. Out of every holiday, Christmas Eve is the best holiday. If you can embrace the anticipation. So as an impatient person, that's difficult for me, which makes it more intense. So as a kid, I learned to embrace it to the point where I would refuse if offered to open up a prize early. I would say no. And when I got into this relationship with Rach and these kids, she would allow Caleb and Ariel to open up a prize on Christmas Eve. And I put the kibosh on that. I said, no, we're not doing that. You got to wait until Christmas. It ruins the whole thing. But
your love language, forgive me if I'm wrong. Your love language is giving, is it not?
It is. I'm a giver.
Yeah. Yeah. You really get off on I really hope they like this thing.
Yeah. A giver. Yeah. Giver. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to experience just a taste of that the day before?
Because it's not as intense as the next day. Like if you're going to do
something trite and monotonous the day before,
then it's a throwaway. Because every prize that you open on Christmas Day is a big deal. So I disagree. It's still a big, you're going to have bigger prizes. I get it. But if, whatever you give on Christmas Eve no matter what the cost or the excitement or whatever the case is, it still is going to be looked at as a lower level Christmas prize than what you open up on Christmas Day. Doesn't matter what it is.
Unless, no, see, there's a loophole here. If you give like pajamas that you have to wear that night, and that's what you wear downstairs on Christmas morning,
Yeah, pajamas
is your Christmas PJs. That's the one thing you can open the day before.
That's not a Christmas prize. That's a prize. I mean,
It's a Christmas Eve prize.
We're talking about the real stuff. We're talking about Tonka trucks. We're talking about Ataris. We're talking about new Nikes. We're talking about real prizes. We're not talking about pajamas.
Or you could get them, like, say there was a conversation where, hey, you might be getting a dog. And on Christmas Eve, you give them a dog collar. So all they can think about is the dog they're getting the next day. And you never mention the dog again.
Or you keep the dog wrapped in the box without any holes. And that's when they come to you and say, hey, Dad, we need to rethink this opening up the prize on Christmas Eve thing again, because
I gave you the wrong box.
He didn't make it. If we would have only let him out the night before, we would actually have a living dog. Thanks for being a dick about this, Dad.
Thought you were a giver.
That might be the only.
There's a pet, maybe. Oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't. Have you ever woken up to a pet? Did you ever get a pet for Christmas?
I don't think. Yeah, I did. My dad was really big on scavenger hunts. Loved doing scavenger hunts. My mom, he passed the torch to her, and she used to do them all over town. And there was one Christmas where we did a scavenger hunt, and my sister and I got Shetland ponies.
Like a horse?
Yeah, 2 of them.
You have a big enough yard for a horse?
We had a farm in Apopka.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
we had 17 acres.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, did you get anything?
And they each had a big bow on them, which was cute.
Yeah. Did you get anything else that year?
An ass whooping, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when, if you get something big like that, then you don't really get much else after that. And there's that fine line in between. I don't think I've ever gotten woken up to get a pet. Petunia was a Christmas prize, but I mean, I was an adult. I mean, this was like 4 years ago. And I knew she was coming, so we got her from a breeder in Minnesota, and then they flew her first class down to Atlanta. So we went and picked her up at the airport. That's how bougie these Cavaliers owners are, right?
That's Rachel's dog, isn't it?
Well, it was technically my dog. So because Petunia had Allie had passed, and Allie had the same colors. Allie wasn't a Cavalier, and I was against having any more dogs, but Henry was Bees's, Fat was kind of just fat, Milton was Caleb's. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. So, she would show me pictures and stuff. I was like, that one, we're going to call her Petunia. And then we get in the car. Petunia loves me and stuff like this. But for the first, Petunia would come to me to go outside, but go to her for everything else. But lately, Petunia's become a little daddy's girl.
Really?
Yeah. She sleeps with Rach, but she doesn't go over there till like halfway through the night. But she's with the kid. She's something's changing with the tutus, and it's not setting well with Rach at all. She doesn't like it. She's a little bit gel bells.
Yeah, Rach once told me that, if she was to have a road dog, it would be Petunia.
Yeah, well, Petunia's just a good dog in general, But she gets Rach gets a little gel bells, and Tutu's what she does now. She climbs up. We call her Surfer Twos. She climbs up on my chest, and she does like this, like she's surfing. And then she'll eventually lay down, and then she'll smother my face. And then she'll want me to kiss the side of her face, not in front of her face, but the side of her face.
Like her cheek.
Yeah, like her cheek. And she does this. So you do it. Such a good dog. Such a good
dog. Not trying to pee in your Wheaties, but she did that to me the other day when I came over.
No, she did not. No, those are lies. You're telling lies right now to be a part of my story. You're lying.
I had a dog blanket on, man.
You
I
are
had Jenna in between my legs, and Fat and Henry and Petunia came and crawled up, and she did.
you are lying right now through your teeth.
All right.
Last episode, if you're a sub, you heard us talking about the Ben's gig, and that was the last of the string of events that I've done this past week. A bunch of date nights with me and Rach going out. We had a big one, which there's kind of a neat story, I guess, that coincides with it. But the last weekend, Friday night, actually, we went to the Hard Rock Live and went and saw Dane Cook. Now I saw that, and I've had Dane on my radio shows throughout the year, and he was just on the podcast not that long ago. You can go back a couple weeks and see that episode if you want to listen to it. But Dane is a great guy. I've always been a fan just as a fan, but from the radio perspective or the podcast perspective, he's just a genuinely good person. Like, he's a good dude. And so I saw that he was coming to town. So I reached out to the Hard Rock, actually, through channels, because my contacts were done. And then they hooked me up with somebody, and then I finally get a hold of Dane's sister, who was setting it up. Anyway, we get him on the show. It was great. So then, they like, hey, you're coming out to the show, right? And I was like, well, maybe. Like, well, hey, we're going to leave some, stuff at the front and get that and come back and say hi. It's like, great, cool. Date night. Anytime I can get my wife, anytime me and my wife can get out of the house and I can chalk it under date night, it's good. It's good for a relationship, right?
I was going to give you shit about taking her instead of me, but then the whole, that's your wife thing. I figured, all right, I understand.
She's a much better spooner. I'm sure you're great, but she's
debatable.
She spoons. It's debatable.
She probably smells better.
So we get out there, and this is the first time that I've been back to Universal Studios since we moved back to Orlando. We moved in 2013, and we moved back a little over a year ago. We went to the Hard Rock Cafe, grabbed a bite to eat at the center bar before the show. Actually, we got it to go and brought it with us into the Hard Rock Live, which all these years I didn't know you could do.
I didn't know you could do that either.
Yeah. And then we went into the show. Cool. Here's the thing. 14 years ago, when Rach and I first started dating, our official first date, not the first time we were together, you know what I mean, but our official first date was at the Hard Rock Cafe into the Hard Rock Live to go see Bob Saget. Okay. We go out on our first date 14 years ago. We sat at this table that we both could see from the center bar as we're reminiscing. We were with a couple who were friends of ours, Jamie and Ken, who are now divorced. Ken was the original bassist for the band Nonpoint. And we're at this table. Rach and I just started hanging out. So we're just getting to know each other, like weeks. This big, furry, hairy-faced guy comes over to the table, and he asks to speak to Rachel. I forgot she used to work there, so she knows a lot of people at the Hard Rock. I was like, great. And so I'm watching this guy talk to her, and he's crying. And he comes over, and I said, what's that all about? She goes, that's my ex-boyfriend. He's upset because I'm with you. And I was like, he's crying at work at the Hard Rock? I was like, he's got a big beard. It looks tougher than that. That's kind of weird, right? So this guy's crying, and I just thought that's how the night started. Then we go next door to the Hard Rock Live. Again, 14 years ago, mine and Rach's official first date. And we go to our seats. We're sitting, I think, up in the leathers, and we run into this guy, and Rach starts talking to this guy. And I find out that's another one of her ex-boyfriends. What a little floozy, right? This guy ended up turning gay. So she turned him gay. So, all right, cool. No harm, no foul. We're good. Now, the night is starting off weird and awkward. We go see Bob, and it was cool because Bob, earlier that day was on the show. We were broadcasting from Universal Studios. I think I'm getting this right. And we were able to do a reenact Full House segments with Bob Saget. And it's one of the coolest bits I've ever done. Right.
What do you mean?
Like I took a a scene from Full House, whatever scene it might be.
Uh-huh.
It didn't matter. And then Bob would be his character from Full House. I would be Uncle Jesse.
I was about to say, you got to be Uncle Jesse because,
Yeah,
you know, you're cool.
Somebody from the show would be this person, that person. And you would try to do his best, but he's being his character from Full House. You know, he's like, are you sure? You know, and it was just really cool if you grew up with Full House. So really, really cool. Anyway, so that's done. And then Bob, you know, we go see Bob afterwards after a show. And he's like, why don't you guys come over and let's hang out I'm at the hotel. I was like, yeah, cool. No problem. He was like, well, give me some time and I'll meet you over there at the downstairs bar. Like, excellent. So we walk over to the Hard Rock Hotel, which I'm very familiar with because I got married to my first wife there. It was a cool rock star wedding outside. The beautiful, if you're ever getting married and you want a cool place to do it, the Hard Rock Hotel is a really cool place to do it. So as we're walking across the spot where I said my vows to my first wife, I'd say to Rach, I go, this is where I got married to my first wife. And she goes, really interesting.
Did you think that through or did you just mouth vomit?
I was just so comfortable and I figured, well, we've already run into two of her exes. I should probably have something here, right?
All right. So you got the Tears and Queers for her and then the Hard Rock wedding for you.
Like,
Okay.
You know what? And she was like, oh, that's interesting. So anyway, we go inside and, you know, we hang out with Bob, and Bob he's not drinking. He's just chowing down on these wings, you know? So we're hanging out while he's eating wings and we're talking and this and that. And then it was short. Then he goes upstairs and goes to bed. Fast forward a couple years ago when I was in California, I have his widow Kelly on the show and I tell her this story. And she tells me about this like infatuation that I did not know that Bob had with chicken wings. Like he loved chicken wings. Never knew that at all those years. So, we're at Dane's show afterwards. I'm telling him this weird, nostalgic, probably pointless comparison story of seeing him here the first time back in Orlando and our first date and stuff like this. And I tell him the story and he goes, oh my God. Yeah. And he tells me this amazing Bob Saget story from 1993 or 5 when Dane was just starting in comedy and Bob kind of took him under his wings, no pun intended. And he did that over chicken wings. It was this weird connection of chicken wings with Bob Saget and all of us. I just thought it was kind of neat. You know what I mean? I just thought it was kind of neat, but just to know that like our first date was there and then we come back and that's where we're at. So I thought it was pretty cool. But the show, outside of that, the show was very rarely do you go do a stand-up comedy show and all 3 acts are hilarious. All 3 acts on the Dane Cook live tour are hilarious to the point where I was worried for Dane, even though I knew how funny he was or is. Adam Mamawala, the opener, and Drew Dunn, the middle guy, were drop dead hilariously funny.
How much time did they do?
They had a good
You're an opening comment. What do you get? Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like 10, 20. It was 10 for Adam, 20 for Drew. Yeah.
Like right at an hour for Dane?
Yeah. A little over an hour for Dane. Yeah. It was
Did he do any crowd work?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did a good amount. He told me afterwards, he goes, none of that was planned. Cause I was talking about how cerebral the set was. He goes, none of that was planned. So what do you mean none of it was I was like, some of those jokes, I mean, you knew where you were going. He goes, not really. I go, that's amazing. As a guy that likes to improv and stuff, for him to do an entire show and have that flow and be that funny consistently. And in the first really half of the show was all about him putting his phone on a stool. I mean, that's how crazy it was that he was able to do 30 minutes of comedy based off of his phone on his stool, like on a stool like that. That's amazing, and then he picked a guy out of the crowd, and he did that stuff, but just so cerebral, and he would drop the, arrogant lines like, I understand you're not as famous and as rich as I am. I get that, like those kind of condescending, he's joking, but is he kind of things. just really funny stuff, man. Just really, really funny. But he said none of it was planned.
Yeah, not as rich as he used to be. But.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about when he was on this show. Is he was one of the last guests that I had booked for my show at before I left to go to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And he canceled, which was odd because he had never done that. And then the whole story about the financial stuff of him getting ripped off by family members and so on and so forth. That was kind of a thing.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, family member, my God, it was his brother.
Yeah. I think
you trust more.
I think it was his stepbrother. I don't think it was his
still his brother. I mean, he grew up with the guy. He said, "You're going to come work for me." And
right.
That's that.
Yeah. That's
you don't have to work for somebody else ever again. And the guy was like, "Oh, okay, cool. So I'll just take all your shit."
You know what? I forgot to ask him one thing, and I forgot to ask him when he was on the show, and then I forgot to ask him when I was hanging out with him. I wanted to ask him a favor, because I think he directs too, right? I want to ask him to reboot the movie PCU. He would be perfect to do it.
He would be perfect to do it.
You would
Modern day Pivin. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, perfect to do it. And it, again, blows me away. That movie is what we're living in today. Like, we are living in the movie PCU right now. So yeah, I want somebody to reboot it.
We asked him a question when he was on the show. Which of his movies does he like watching the best? And he mentioned one that I was not familiar with, Mr. Brooks. Had you ever heard of it?
Nope.
Have you looked into it since then?
Nope.
Kind of brilliant. I mean, the cast alone will get your attention. It's Kevin Costner. It's Demi Moore. It's William Hurt. I'm like, what is Dane Cook doing in this? You got to check that movie out, man.
Well,
it's kind of a mind fucker.
It was a drama. Like, he said that there was like drama, so that's why he liked it so much.
It's like a suspense thriller more than a drama.
Yeah.
It's trippy, man. Yeah, you should look into it, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah. So I'm going to probably get Drew on and Adam Amawala because he's got a fun name. But those guys are really, really funny. And I wanted to, it's always interesting talking to these guys about like especially like when they first started, you know what I mean? And trying to figure out, who helped them along the way. Like, Dane Cook was instrumental in Matt Rife's success. Not that Matt would have never gotten there, right? But,
certainly had a path then.
Yeah, Matt had sent him a letter, when he was younger or something like that, and blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to, have you seen this new John Candy documentary? I've
seen the previews. I have not watched it.
It's they have a bunch of his friends, obviously, Steve Martin and Bill Murray and guys that go back with him to back in the day. But they had Conan O'Brien as one of the guys commenting on John Candy and this documentary. And Conan O'Brien was a student at Harvard, young student at Harvard that wanted to get into comedy. So he joined this comedy-esque club, right? And he was such a fan of John Candy. He says, I'm going to get John Candy to speak at Harvard for our club. So he does. He locks him down. He goes and he picks him up from the airport. And he's got this experience, although short, but memorable for the rest of his days with John Candy. And I wanted to ask Dane if he had anything like that with any comedian that was, when he was starting out, above him, who would have been like Eddie Murphy or people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is in the documentary. So you've seen it. I'm assuming I Am John.
Oh, yeah. I Like Me. It's called, I like
Me. Okay. I don't know if this is in there, if this was just something else that I saw. Somebody was talking about John Candy being the ultimate John Hughes guy.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this thing?
Yeah. So that's the other thing. For those not familiar with John Hughes, a brilliant writer and director from the 80s. He is credited with a lot of our coming of age movies, you know, Breakfast Club and all these other things. But what
16 Candles.
16 Candles, but
Home Alone.
what you don't realize is before he got to that status, he did Vacation with Chevy Chase.
Mhm.
Okay. So John Candy, a Canadian, started out, you know, Second City in Canada, right? And so he's working with, you know, the Bill Murrays and all these people that started at I'm not sorry. See, Second
City, Chicago, I believe.
Second City, Chicago. But before that, you know, he's in Canada at God, what was it called? Their troop in Canada, and then it moved over to Chicago with the Bill Murrays and all that kind of stuff. But like Rick Moranis,
Yeah.
and Fuzzy Eyebrows, Eugene Levy,
Yeah, Levy, yeah.
yeah, they all started up there, and just all these extremely talented people. Saturday Night Live comes into play. John Candy like doesn't want to audition because he doesn't feel like he's going to get it. Anyway, then he morphs into movies and stuff like that. But he was like creating such an impact in the comedy world. John Hughes, and I forget how they kind of ran into each other or knew about each other. That's why John Candy was put into Vacation last minute, because the original, I guess, ending of Vacation did not test well with the audience. So they needed something to help at the end to help with the ending for the audience. John Candy was brought into Vacation just for that, because of the character that he does in Vacation was a character that he did in Canada early on. A lot of his characters in different movies were characters that he had done prior that people saw and liked and wanted to bring to the big screen. So that's kind of cool.
When you think of John Hughes, what actor do you immediately correlate to him?
When I think of John Hughes, I think of Anthony Michael Hall.
See, most people would say Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald.
Right.
They've done like 3 John Hughes movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Candy's done 8.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. John.
He wrote Uncle Buck just because he liked John Candy and wanted him to do something cooler.
You are correct. And it's a really cool observation too, because John Candy's not synonymous with coming of age movies. John Hughes is. And what John Hughes brought to film is something that really hadn't been overly done before. And that's bring music into the film, where the music was just as important as the acting.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you look at Breakfast Club.
Don't you forget about me.
There's very few endings as good as that ending, walking off. Yeah, walking off. Say Anything, you know, with John Cusack. Yeah, I mean the music, and so it's just really, really cool. So here's the thing, you know, John Candy, when you watch this documentary, I Like Me, right? John Candy was, obviously he's a large man. He was overweight. For whatever reason, journalists in that day and age, that's all they talked about with him, like to his face.
Mm-hmm.
They would ask him about being fat bluntly to him. John Candy, being the professional that he is, would shake it off, tell a joke. But as we learn later in life, because, you know, they have his kids and his wife on this documentary, I Like Me, it hurt him, like immensely hurt him. And it's tough, I guess, when you're a fat guy in comedy, because comedy and fat people are kind of synonymous with each other, right?
Fat is funny.
Fat is funny, correct. But when you want to get healthy, what happens? You know, so kind of rule of thumb, especially this day and age, if you're overweight, you go on, do an interview, it would be extremely rude, almost canceling for the interviewer to talk about how fat you are. Right? It's just, that's disrespectful. Like, why would you do that? But when you lose weight, what are you ultimately saying? You lose a bunch of weight, the interviewer goes, "Oh my God, how much weight have you lost?" They're saying you're fat. So at a certain point in John's life, he had lost a tremendous amount of weight. That's all then they would talk about. They're talking about how fat he was then. Then they're talking about how much weight. You know, it's one of those things where good for you. Good for you.
Right.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for
Health
like,
first.
treating him like he's a child. You know, so it really took a toll on John Candy. But John did what you should do is he took all these troubled issues and he grew up just like all of us, with some type of trauma, and he turned it into a positive. He knew that he was going to die early. So his father and grandfather both died at a young age. They died, I think, on his birthday, or it was like his birthday, but they died like in their 40s of heart issues. I know one of them did. And that was traumatizing when he was younger, to go through that. And he knew that he knew his entire life he was going to die young. He knew what he was going to die of. He just knew it. I mean, he would talk openly with people close to him, like, this is how I'm going to die. And which is just absolutely crazy, right?
Morbid.
Yeah, really, really morbid. So when he died, it was not like a shock to people around him. They weren't, overly shocked, but he was a great father. He put family first. He turned down a lot of gigs, a lot of opportunities, because he wanted to watch his family grow up. And he was a giver. He wasn't your typical Hollywood guy. Even though he had a vision and he had a dream and he knew what he wanted to do, he wasn't your typical Hollywood guy. He put family first. He bought this like big estate up in upstate New York or something like that, so the kids could grow up outside of the hustle and bustle. They had animals to play with and so on and so forth. And then he would just commute, but sometimes he would just take hiatuses and he wouldn't take jobs just so he could be around his family. So it was very, very different than everybody else. And then as he got older and some of these movies, hit or miss happened, he was trying to find work. He couldn't get a job anymore. He started getting in directing and all that kind of stuff. And it was tough for him. I mean, this is really good. Like, you think John Candy's a god. So the movie that they point out most out of John Candy's life that was like the movie was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I got to be honest with you. I'd never seen it either 100% fully through or at all. Well, I guess it's the same thing, but I might have seen bits and pieces, but I couldn't tell you anything about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Love it.
Okay. If you've never seen that movie, good. Watch the documentary first, then watch the movie.
You think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Watch the documentary first about John Candy, I Like Me, then watch the movie. And there's one scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that will sum up everything. And that's when he says,
now I have to watch the documentary to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Well, that's when he says, I like me, when they're in the hotel. And he and Steve Martin are going back and forth about, who he is.
Yeah.
You just do this and you're a screw up and this. And he's like, my wife likes me. I like me. But he's making up a story, right? Because his wife in the movie is anyway.
Right.
So yeah, watch the documentary first and then watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, especially if you've never seen the movie, because it is arguably not only just a great movie, but it might be the best John Candy movie that he's ever done, in my opinion, and that's a lot. I mean,
I'd be hard pressed to disagree with you.
You've got, think about Spaceballs, Summer Rental, which I put up here. Summer Rental's one of the best comedy. I love Summer Rental. You've got Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck was awesome.
Right.
The Stripes.
Stripes. I mean, John Candy's in Home Alone, right? Yeah. The Home Alone house is the same house they used because that's John Hughes. Right. They use that in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Same house.
Is it? Same house, really?
Same house. Yeah.
Interesting. I know that that house has been sold and now it's a Home Alone museum.
Right. That's what you do with it. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same house they use. That's what John Hughes would do. He'd use all the same stuff and, Chicago this and.
You see, you're talking about John Hughes again, so I'll bring this up. John Hughes would actually call John Candy on movies that he was not a part of to get his impression of what he should do to up the script.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, like he was a confidant for John Hughes.
Yeah, that's cool.
A voice of wisdom. That's awesome.
And then you add the mixture of Harold Ramis that you get thrown in there. And Harold Ramis was an absolute genius. Obviously his son is kind of taking after his dad and doing really genius things. Tom Hanks, who also obviously goes back with John Candy, and it started with Splash, right?
Splash, yeah.
That's where John Candy really got his Hollywood boom, in Splash with Tom Hanks. And Colin Hanks has put together this documentary. So it's Tom Hanks' kid that
Really?
that directed this documentary. So Tom Hanks is in this, and he tells a story about, if you've seen the movie Splash, if you haven't, you really, again, remember Eugene Levy is in Splash. He's the foil. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. So that now you're seeing it all tie in.
Forgot about
But
that.
Tom Hanks is telling a story about how he was familiar with John Candy, but he didn't know John Candy. So Tom Hanks is an actor. He gets the script, he does the script. That's what he's doing. They bring in John Candy, who's an improv guy, and he gets an idea of what you want, but if he feels something, he's going to go with it. And so there's the scene that Tom Hanks is talking about in this John Candy documentary about when they are in the office and they're arguing, and then the phone rings and Tom Hanks has to answer it. And John Candy goes and sits down and answers another phone and pretends like he's on the line when nobody's on the line. That wasn't in the script. Like, a lot of that scene was not in the script. That was John Candy improving. And Tom Hanks said he then learned the art of improv and how special you are and what magic you can make if you can do those types of things. You know what I mean? Really, really, really cool.
I would say that probably helped Tom Hanks' career slightly.
Oh, absolutely.
Far cry from bosom buddies.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. I mean, Tom Hanks was destined to do big things. Hold on. Just texting Rach here. A buddy that's coming over. Anyway, so watch the documentary. It's absolutely fascinating. But if anything, especially if you're younger, it will, Jesus.
Timing, people, timing.
Yeah. So watch the documentary, I Like Me, the John Candy documentary. If anything, what it will teach you is it'll teach you how to deal with deficiencies in your life, taking a negative and making it a positive. And that's, in conclusion, what I wanted to get to, is that you see somebody, of course, everybody's got demons. John Candy dealt with weight issues. Yeah, he probably dipped into a little of this and a little bit of that. But when it was all said and done, he was a good family man. He was a hard worker. He's extremely talented. But he took all these deficiencies, these challenges that he had as a child, this trauma that he had as a child, and he made a positive. He's like, I'm going to become this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to achieve this success because I went through that. Instead of what we see nowadays, where every person that screws up has a freaking excuse. This kid, my son, shot up this school because his dad wouldn't let him wear brand new Nikes to school one day. And he just flipped it's not Billy's fault. It's not Billy's fault. And I'm not going to say it's my husband's fault, but we as parents have to do better and give our kids more because of the mental wellness. Like, what are you talking about? Like you push through. We're all going to have some kind of crap in our lives, man. Just got to get better at it. You got to take that
mental wellness. That's a new term. I like that one. It actually makes sense. It was a flubber jibbitter that worked for you.
Flubber jibber. That's what I had. But I guess I just I'm not an excuse guy. You get sick and tired of hearing about it. Like, I even had to catch myself the last couple years with this California stuff. Like, call a spade, dude. The stuff that happened to me in California, without a doubt, was on other people. I mean, like, and that's not an excuse. That's a fact, right? I mean, like, you guys don't even know the half of it. But I can't live there. I've got to move on from that. And it was tough, not so much because of me and what it did to me, but what it did to my family. And that's when you get really protective of when somebody starts to make decisions that affect your family. And that's what I had from certain people that were making decisions about not only my career, but my family. And it screwed my career, like really, as far as the radio aspect of it, it really screwed me over, probably for the rest of the days. But I can't live there. So you go, okay, that's that. Let me there's always another way to get into a building. You got to have an emergency exit. So you find different ways. And if you watch this John Candy documentary and you think that way in those regards, it will, it'll be a game changer for you. I can tell you that right now. So
take accountability, people. Damn it.
Yeah. I hate excuses. Like I deal with this with Rach all the time. She's such an excuse chick, is that she's like, I'll give you an example. The other day, it was the day we're going to see you and your gig. She left Petunia outside. Like she left her outside, like Petunia, the sweetest, our dog. She leaves her outside, and we're sitting there in the kitchen getting ready to go, and I'm hearing like whimpering. And I'm like, what is that? And I go, did you leave a dog outside? I go, did you leave Petunia? So Petunia comes in, everything's fine. And I'm like, you left Petunia outside. And she goes, no, I had an excuse. Like, how are you defending that? You just saying, yes, I did. I screwed up, and you move forward. But you get people that always have an excuse. I love my wife. Don't get me wrong, but she's part of that Gen Y. That Gen Y is full of excuses. Like, that's what the Y stands for. Like, why did you ask me that? Well, why would you go there? Well, why did I do that? Well, why would you do this? It's just so much of that stuff. Do you
think she just knows you well enough that she knew she was going to have to get in a defensive posture?
No. If she knew me well enough, she would know that it would be the opposite of that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't like when I screw up, I'm like, man, that's my bad. And I screwed up with Dane Cook. I screwed up. We went and saw Dane Cook last weekend, Hard Rock Live. She came home from work early on Thursday to go to see Dane Cook. If I had not talked to you, we would have been at the Hard Rock Live to see Dane Cook on Thursday when his show was on Friday. So I screwed up. I told her the wrong day, which I never do, but I did it. She came home early for it, and it was a slight inconvenience, but I didn't have an excuse other than I screwed up. And once you just kind of come out with I screwed up, then there's no conversation. There's no debate. Mm-hmm. You can be mad all you want at somebody that screws up, but once they admit it, if it's true, where do you go from there? I mean, what are you going to continue to browbeat them? Then what happens? Then you become the bad guy, because it's like, it's over. You move forward. Focus on the solution, not the problem. You've already figured out the problem. The problem's already been problemized. Now you want to solutionize it, but you can't solutionize it if you're sitting there on the problem. You know what I mean? So that's just my 2 cents. Get all that from the John Candy documentary. I'm telling you. All right, let me get your what the fuck video before we end this episode. Here we go.
What the fuck?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I got your order out here.
Should you have shown that on the episode where we're talking about John Candy's weight problem?
That was not planned, by the way, my friends. That was not planned at all.
A little forethought.
Again, I don't know if it's real or not, but it's funny. The funniest part about it was the guy's like, I'm hell-bent on getting you your order. Got your order here,
It'd been funny if he just lifted it out of the hole. He's just holding up the Uber Eats.
Yeah, all right. Look, we appreciate you listening to the Free Bay episode, the BPX, which is the Bailey Podcast Exchange. We have 3 different shows 5 days a week. So Monday, release Honey, I Raised the Kids. That's with me and Rach, talking about us becoming empty nesters in the second stage of our life, opening up a live ozone therapy spa, so on and so forth. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get episodes of the BS. If you enjoyed the episode, that's cool. We have Tuesday and Thursday episodes as well. If you're on Spotify, you'll see like a little lock next to them. That's because you're not a subscriber. So if you don't mind, go to jasonbailey.com and subscribe. It's only $4.99 a month. Write it off as charity or something. Then on Friday, I released an episode called the Vinyl Road Podcast with me and Brad Stewart of the band Saliva. We talk rock and roll, stories from the road, obviously his stories from the road, some of the interviews that I've had with these people over the years and life and everything in between. I'm sure this week we'll focus a lot of the conversation on not only Ace Frehley, but also Sam Rivers. You know, Ace, of course, with Kiss passed away, and then Sam Rivers, the original bassist with Limp Bizkit, which is Jacksonville, which is where Brad's from, which is where Shinedown technically originated from, and so on and so forth. So there's that ancestral music demographic, geographic, I should say, geographical location type of thing. So did you know Sam Rivers?
I never met him. No, we had a lot of mutual friends up there, but I never met him. He seemed like he was a great dude and owned his past and was moving forward. And then this happened. Sad.
Was he still in Limp Bizkit today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. So he's still torn with Limp
Yeah,
Bizkit.
he was actually really excited about a video they just completed.
I know Bobby Amaru, the lead singer of Saliva, he had made this really nice post about Sam. They had just had lunch the other day, and
they were in a band together.
Oh, were they?
Something Ghost or something. It was, I want to say Bobby was drumming and Damian Starkey, I think, was the lead singer. Sam was, I'm almost positive that was Bobby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Sam's a stunning bass player, man.
Yeah, it's so ancestral, you know, like if you listen to the Vinyl Road podcast with me and Brad, more Brad, obviously talking about this, but just that Jacksonville music scene and how, you know, who knows who and who came up with who and who still talks to who and who helps who and who helped who and where they're at now. And it's like, cool. I'm in Limp Bizkit. I'm the bass, you know, it's just very interesting how, you know, because remember, Durst signed Aaron Lewis, signed Wes Scantlin, and, you know, with his label, which launches Puddle of Mud, which launches Stained, which, you know, it's just very, I love the lines, you know, I love the branches that come off.
So many.
Yeah.
So many up there.
Yeah. All of our great sponsors. Thank you so much. Title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut. OnceUponACoconut.com. Use the discount code BS Podcast 10 at checkout. Save yourself some Geetuses right then and there. If you want to become a sponsor for your business, reach out to me again on the website. Subscribe to the email list that we send out. I'd appreciate that. That's free. We got the merch. Our YouTube channel is blowing up for whatever reason. So make sure you run across the BPX Bailey Podcast Exchange YouTube channel. Again, all those links are off the website. So if you just go to jasonbailey.com and just start clicking on shit, you'll figure it out, right? But your support is needed. Like, in order for us to grow and get bigger, it's great, especially with sponsorships and subscribers. Like, we just got a new sponsor, MVP Walk-In Tub and Shower of Atlanta. Freaking phenomenal. And it's a great business, and you get to save $2,000 if you mention the show. But like, who doesn't want their bathroom remodeled? You know, maybe you're going to get it done before the end of the year, going into the holidays, because you're having family over. You got to do it like this. The way that they do it is it's quick, fast, efficient, and professional. And I'm going to save you $2,000, but you got to listen to what I'm telling you at the beginning of the show and what we call the pre-roll. But you can get their information as well as all of our sponsor information on jasonbailey.com. All right. With that being said, you got anything before we get out?
What happens to a frog that's illegally parked?
What happens to a frog that is illegally parked? What, Bald Badger?
He gets towed.
Oh, that's
You are welcome, sir.
That's really good.
Thank you.
You're killing me with these, because like when I was telling you about the Dane show, I didn't mention this in this episode, but just real quick, like, going to comedy shows is a good to bad thing for me. It's a good thing, you know, especially if I know them. That's great. You go there to support. You go there as a fan to laugh. Comedy and laughter is good for the soul. But from the talent side of me, I don't want to say get jealous, but I get envious that I don't think of things like your Bad Bunny Apple AirPod conspiracy theory. I get angry at myself that I didn't think about that. I'm at this Dane Cook show, and that's why I refer to the show as very cerebral. And afterwards, I told him, you know, some of the jokes, not only by Dane, but by Drew and Adam, were absolutely brilliant. I mean, simple stuff that you can make a bit out of. You know, for example, Drew Dunn is talking about the world that we live in and how crazy it is. People out there protesting. And there's the fear that we're going to have a civil war. It's going to be a civil war in the United States of America. It's people that believe in that and people that believe in this, and it's going to get violent. It's going to get ugly, and we're going to get caught in it, and it's going to consume our lives. He says that's just bullshit. We can't even get people to go to work. And you think that they're going to go out there and fight each other on a daily basis? Like, it's so simplistic and silly, but it's so factual and correct, right? So stuff like that is funny. I get angry. Anyway, look, thanks for listening. Thanks for support. If you're going to be doing some drinking, I understand. I get it. Have yourself a great, safe rest of your day. Please don't get behind the wheel of a car if you are doing that, right? I've lost too many friends like that, as well as if you've had too much to drink. Don't go on social media and post shit because you're going to lose a bunch of friends that way as well. Continue to support the shows. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Again, by going to jasonbailey.com. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed, details, and to subscribe, jasonbailey.com.